Glory of the King, the highest midday sun of the year, and therefore the shortest shadow that I will ever have. Well, at least by day at this terrestrial latitude, which is 38 degrees north of Earth's equator. Same as Athens, Greece. I'm just 10 hours behind them, as according to the spin, or 14 hours before. So the sun is just about an hour away from ingressing tropical Cancer, when it will shine directly above the Tropic of Cancer. That's the sun's northern bounds, or the northern bounds of the zodiac, the sun's path. And because I'm here in California, well, the Tropic of Cancer is the closest the sun will ever get to me, and that's why today the sun appears to be highest in the sky. It's the northern bounds of the light, so the sun today rose furthest north of east over there. It will set after climbing to the highest height furthest north of west, which is between those two eucalyptus trees. I call them the solstice goalposts. Over here, I call this Solstice Hill. That's where the Capricorn solstice, the Solstice, sun sets. When the sun is at the Tropic of Capricorn, it rises furthest south of east, climbs to its lowest midday height, and sets furthest south of west. One of the ways, by the way, we can see that the full moon coming is extremely out of bounds south is that it will set further south than the sun ever can. But anyway, of course, the full moon is south when the sun is north. So one of the ways we can tell where the sun is in the signs, you'll never know what constellation currently hosts the travel of the light. You will go blind trying, is to experience where the sun is rising and setting on the horizons, and then also experiencing the shifting of the sun's altitude at midday during the course of the year. So here, 38 north of the equator, and everywhere in the temperate northern hemisphere, the sun souths every day. That's this tree. The sun at the MC, the meridian midheaven. And you can measure the length of your shadow throughout the course of the year, right? When the sun finds its lowest midday altitude, that's winter solstice, the sun will be much lower and my shadow will be much, much, much longer. And so one of the old ways of keeping time for the year is measuring the midday shadow. Now, there's one thing I said before, which is that this height of the light, this glory of the King, brings the shadow of the year. I had to correct that and say by day. Chase wants me to be accurate always. Thank you, Chase. Because we can get moon shadows too. And especially when the moon is full and the moon is culminating at midnight. And I'm not talking about 12 a.m. on some clock device. I'm talking about halfway between sunset and sunrise, when the sun is at the IC, the Imam Cheli, the bottom of the heavens down beneath, right? So at full moon time, the sun is at the IC and the moon is at the MC, all right? Well, at this time of the year, we're going to have, because I'm in the northern hemisphere, a very high sun, Cancer, and therefore a very low full moon, Capricorn. But in 6 months, clouds allowing, I will have a very low sun, Capricorn. Tropic of Capricorn is the furthest degree of the zodiac from me here in California, and a very high full moon in Cancer. And every 18.6 years, when the North Node reaches zero Aries, zero tropical Aries, the Earth zodiac, not the star zodiac, certainly not some constellation Ophiuchian thing. I'm talking Earth astrology here. When the North Node of the moon reaches 0 degrees Aries, as it does every 18.6 years, then we are in the maximums of the lunar standstill cycle, and we have the most out of bounds moons. That's happening now, especially with the moon in Sagittarius and Capricorn, the furthest south degrees of the zodiac. And it's happening now especially with the moon in Gemini and Cancer, the furthest north degrees of the zodiac, right? So this is what that looks like in the northern hemisphere. Crazy high. It's not just the sun that's high at the Gemini Cancer cusp. It's moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and all the beings you can't see with your eyes too, right? The sun is currently visiting the highest sign. And why, again, is Cancer, the tropical Cancer cusp, the highest in our sky? Because it's the point that's closest to me on Earth. I live in California, northern hemisphere. The northern bounds of the zodiac are the Tropic of Cancer. So tropical Cancer, Tropic of Cancer. That is not a coincidence, my friends. And so when the moon is in the lunar standstill maximums, as it is this year of 2024 and next year of 2025, as the North Node will reach 0 Aries on January 11th, 2025. We are having extremely low Sagittarius and Capricorn moons each month. That's especially dynamic at full moon time, like the one that's coming in a couple days. And we are having especially high moons in Gemini and Cancer every month, and that's especially dynamic when the moon is full. And of course, we can't have a Cancer full moon until the sun's in Capricorn across the way, right? Now, the out of bounds moon and the extreme out of bounds moon places what we call the northern bending of the lunar travel at 0 Cancer. So we have the furthest north point, that's 0 Cancer, and we add another 5 degrees. So the furthest north the sun can get from the equator is 23.5 degrees. That's Earth's tilt angle. The moon can add another 5 degrees. She does every 18.5 years, and that's 28 degrees, which is why I believe that strange dome they call Spaceship Earth at Epcot Center at Disney World, I think it's meant to be the moon honoring this lunar standstill thing that happens periodically, well, every 18.6 years. So we're in really powerful times in that regard. And if you look at my channel from a long live stream yesterday on Storytelling Hours, I revealed some of the keys about why it's even more powerful in our particular day and age within the precessional cycle of about 26,000 years, and why this is the greatest alignment really of Earth, Moon, Sun, galactic core that is possible. So you've incarnated at very interesting times. Let me share one other thing that's not a coincidence with you. Do you know that Father's Day is always on Sunday, the day of the sun? And on the Sunday that is closest to this time, the height of the light, the glory of the King. Whether wizards plan that or not, sometimes creation just creates through us so we can stay aligned to the true calendar, which is 360 degrees of a circle. Thanks for spending some time with me in this moment of solstice. Good time to think about how you can truly shine your highest, brightest light, and know that when you do, the shadow is shortest. But still, do the shadow work. It's actually at this time when your shadow points most immediately into the center of Earth, that one place where we are all connected, that place where we measure planets in the signs from. Whether you live in the northern hemisphere like I do, and it's midday as it is right now for me, or it's midnight, or if you live in the southern hemisphere, where of course this is now the movement instead of from spring to summer, from fall to winter, still this is the most northern sun. Like so many sacred systems of ancient wisdom traditions, the tropical zodiac signs are directionally aligned. In fact, I would suggest they are directionally defined. Eyes to the sky, friends. See you in space.